Emma lived in a charming house on a peaceful suburban street. Everything about her life felt picture perfect. The sun shone brightly, casting long shadows across her manicured lawn. Birds twittered merrily in the trees.
It's a perfect day for gardening.
Emma stepped out of her house, a contented smile on her face. She reached for her gardening gloves, her shadow mimicking her movements. For a fleeting moment, something felt off. Her shadow seemed longer, sharper than usual. She dismissed the thought, attributing it to the angle of the sun. Little did she know this was just the beginning of her descent into a chilling nightmare. As Emma tended to her roses, she noticed it again, the strange behavior of her shadow. It seemed to writhe and contort, no longer mirroring her movements accurately. A cold shiver ran down her spine.
What is happening?
She turned around, her heart pounding in her chest. But there was nothing there. Just the empty lawn bathed in the afternoon sun. Maybe it was just her imagination. Taking a deep breath, Emma tried to focus on her gardening, but the image of her distorted shadow lingered in her mind. As she bent down to prune a rose bush, something even stranger happened. Her shadow, instead of following her movement, lifted its hand in a wave that was not initiated by her. Panic welled up inside Emma. This was no trick of the light. Her shadow was acting independently as if it had a life of its own. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through her calm facade. The once peaceful garden now felt menacing, each rustle of leaves sending shivers down her spine.
This can't be real. It has to be a hallucination, right?
But deep down, she knew this was real, and it was terrifying. Her movements became frantic as she tried to escape the watchful gaze of her own shadow. But it was no use. It followed her every move, mimicking her with a mocking grace. Emma's breath came in short, panicked gasps. She had to get out of the garden, away from this thing. She ran towards her house, her heart pounding in her ears. But as she reached the porch, she froze. Standing in the doorway, silhouetted against the light from within, was her shadow, but it wasn't a mere shadow anymore. It had taken on a horrifying three-dimensional form.
No, this can't be happening!
Her own features, twisted into a grotesque mockery, stared back at her. It reached out a hand, its touch promising an icy oblivion. Emma screamed, a primal cry that ripped through the stillness of the afternoon. She stumbled back, falling onto the grass, her eyes still locked on the doppelganger. Then, everything went black.